in previous years when it's come to this time of the year, I have usually always done my favourites from over the year in one big video that I often had to cut into two because it was so long. But instead of doing that this year, I'm actually going to do a few shorter videos showing you some of my favourite products just grouped into different videos. So in this video I'm going to show you my favourite products that belong to primer, foundation and concealer categories. So I won't spend too long on each product just because there's a good few to show you. I'll just give you a few little words about why I loved them so much, and I will also be announcing the winner to my giveaway from last Wednesday's video at the end of this video, so keep tuned for that as well. So of course I'm going to start off with primers, and the first one is the Prep and Prime Natural Radiance Primer by MAC. This is first of all brilliant because of the size. There's 50ml in this, which is 1.7 fluid ounces. That is huge compared to most other primers. Most other primers are usually only around the 30 mark. This cost about $39.50, but it's well worth it. It comes in a pink tone, which is for fairer skin, and a yellow one for slightly darker skins. It is brilliant for dehydrated skin. So it really gives that shot of moisture or hydration that a lot of skins need, particularly around this time of the year, but it also inhibits oil production. But the reason I love this, particularly for people with combination skin, is that it won't mattify the skin. It'll inhibit the oil production without actually mattifying it. So if you do have an oily T-zone but maybe dry everywhere else, this is brilliant because it'll give that hydration you need everywhere else but inhibit the oil production on the nose. Brilliant, brilliant primer, and it does give a nice kind of radiant or luminous look to the skin. The next primer then is a drugstore primer. This one is by Max Factor and it's the Facefinity All Day Primer. It has an SPF of 20, which is one of the reasons I love it. This is very good for my oily T-zone, so I actually only tend to use it on my T-zone. This was brought out because this is the primer that was in their 3-in-1 All Day Flawless Foundation, and people loved it so much they decided to extract the primer and make it its own product. So this, I think it's around could be nearly around €20 in the pharmacy, but again it's a very, very good one for anyone who does get a little bit oily. It comes with a nice pump dispenser and it's just a really nice looking bottle as well for a drugstore product. Next I'm going to move on to this guy, which is kind of like a skincare primer hybrid. It's the OLAY Regenerist Super 10-minute Miracle Primer. So this is actually like a serum primer, if you know what I mean, and it has loads of very, very good anti-aging ingredients in it, but it still does have the same properties in it that a lot of other primers would have to help extend the wear and improve the look of your foundation. So that's one I'd highly recommend again. Now again, not the cheapest one in the world, it's in the €40 mark. A lovely little pump here. A little goes a long way though, so it will last a long time. And this also comes in a 50ml bottle like the Prep and Prime one by MAC. The Max Factor one is only 30ml bottle. Next we have this guy by Sleek, which is the Control Shine and Prime primer, and this is one of the newer ones to me, but I immediately fell in love with it. Now this is in a tiny little 15ml container, but you need very, very little of it. I can't remember exactly the price. Sleek is very inexpensive though, so you won't break the bank. Oh, and Sleek is now available in Galway in Care Pharmacy in Salthill. They have the entire stand. I knew they had a few of the products before now, but that's the only place I know of in Galway now that has the entire range. I know you can get it in Boots in various places around Ireland, but it's not in Boots in Galway yet. But this is brilliant. I can use this again all down the central panel of my face. It's what I've on me today. Love this, and lovely for like underneath the eye and stuff like that as well. So that's that guy. The last two primers for the face I have to show you is this guy by ILLAMASQUA, and it's the Hydra Veil. This is such a unique primer, and there's not a huge amount of primers out there for very dry skin that I love, but this is one of them. So the tub looks like this. You open up the top and it's like a jelly, and it literally is like a jelly. Like if you stick your finger in it or anything like that, it'll eventually just go back to the same consistency, and it feels like a jelly when you're putting it on, but when you then blend it in, it turns like almost into water on the skin. It is lovely. So it comes with this little spatula that you can use, which I honestly don't use very often, to be honest, but it's a great, great product. I think they've brought out one for oily skin now, like the Hydra Matte, but if you can get your hands on this, it's brilliant. I get my ILLAMASQUA stuff online, and again, not the cheapest in the whole world, but it's well worth it for anyone who has the dry skin or for anyone who does makeup. It's brilliant for the kit. And then this is the MAC Prep and Prime Skin Smoother Base. This is my favourite one for anyone with a lot of texture on their skin, as long as they're not very, very oily. So anyone who maybe has like a lot of dents or open pores or stuff like that on their face, this is brilliant because it's one of these very, very solid primers. It's like a wax basically, and then when you smooth it on over the face, it'll literally fill in any of those little indentations. Again, like I said, if you're very oily though, it just doesn't seem to do anything for oil production. So I would use this more on kind of normal combination to dry skins. Love it though, and again use this in my kit a lot. Now for under eye primer, which is something I really got into this year, there was a couple I was using. I do like the MAC one and the Gosh one, but this is the one that totally won my heart. Very, very dramatic there. It's the SMASHBOX Photo Finish Hydrating Under Eye Primer, and this is just lovely for adding an extra shot of hydration where I need it, because I get very dry underneath the eye. I do tend to use it over my eyelids as well. If you're oily, you could skip that, but this is just lovely for making my under eye concealer go on lovely and smooth, and I've definitely noticed a decrease in creasing in my under eye concealer as well using this guy, so really, really love this. Now that's it for the primers. We'll jump into the foundation. I'm going to show one that's a long time favourite of mine, and this is my Vichy Irritant Pure Foundation. I think I'm on my third bottle now. This is a fluid makeup. It lasts for 12 hours. It has an SPF of 20, and I think you pay around 18 or 19 euro for it here in Ireland. I am the colour 12 Très Clair Opal. Now this comes in two different formulas. This is the one for combination oily skin. You can also get one for dry to normal skin. This is just the most beautiful skin-like but skin perfecting foundation. I just love this to death. I've spoken in depth about it before, so I won't go on about it again, but it comes in that lovely bottle, and love the Vichy stuff. This is something I picked up when I was in the States there in February, and it is one of the KORRES foundations. It's their Quercetin and Oak Anti-Aging Foundation. I was very happily surprised when I tried this, especially considering the colour number 5 Bisque is what suits me, and I'm like usually the lightest or the second lightest of most foundations, but you can see here it's so pale. It's like an NC15 basically, and this gives gorgeous coverage, but it also includes ingredients that are really good for the skin as well. This gives it that lovely kind of luminous finish to the skin, which a lot of anti-aging products would, and big fan of this. I was very impressed when I tried that. I'd love to try more KORRES makeup. I used to call it KORRES, but I was informed that it's KORRES by a Greek subscriber, but yeah, it's not that readily available in Ireland, but really impressed by that one anyhow. Another drugstore product is the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. Again, I picked this up I think when I was in the States. Yeah, and this is the number 110 of the liquid foundation. It has an SPF of 18, and this is again another beautiful skin-like foundation. I just thought it's one of the nicer drugstore or pharmacy foundations out there that you can get to make your skin look good. Don't expect the heaviest coverage in the world. You'll get more of a medium coverage foundation, but as I've mentioned before, I'm much more of a fan of medium coverage foundations. Another Max Factor product is this whipped cream foundation in number 40 Light Ivory. I can't remember, was it earlier this year or maybe the end of last year I got this, but just a really lovely, like, unusual consistency foundation. It is like a mousse, but it's not dry like a lot of other mousses. Mousses? Can you say mousses out there? Anyhow, this is just a really lovely medium coverage foundation. I'd say it's good for normal combination to slightly oily skins. I wouldn't use it if you were very dry. You can cling a little bit to dry patches, but another one that really surprised me at how nice it was. And I have done like actual individual videos on a lot of these, so if you search for that on my channel you'll find a few of them. This is another Max Factor one, yeah, and this is the newest one to my kit, and this is the Max Factor Skin Luminizer Foundation. I've been using this to death. You can see the base has actually gone up to here. This is what I would call a, it is a luminant foundation, but it's like gives radiance but has kind of a matte base. But this is what I'm wearing today, and this is the only foundation that'll really give me that dewy look without allowing me to look very oily throughout the day, because well, I've one or two actually that do that, but this one really does just kind of stay put throughout the day. It's great. Now I would usually wear a bit of a primer around the nose, but just a lovely foundation. It photographs lovely, and the Max Factor foundations really aren't that expensive. They're all going to be under the 20 euro mark. It says here, it instantly captures light for a healthy looking glow. The reason I like this, I have all 6 colours of this, is it's very, very light. It's in a plastic bottle with a pump, so it's very handy for the kit. And I've been using that to death, probably my most, to death, did I say that right? Probably my most used foundation in the last month or so. Next, this is another oldie but a goodie, and I think I'm on my second, or I don't know if it's my second or third bottle. I think it's my third because I remember giving one to my sister, yeah. And this is the Soap and Glory Show Good Face 2-in-1 Skin Energizing Foundation and Primer. So this is just one of those really handy primers that I usually use when I'm in a hurry, because it has the primer built into it, and this it's just a really nice quick one but looks flawless on the skin. So this is a nice one to try if you haven't tried it before, and I really do love the packaging of all the Soap and Glory products as well as the names of their products. Then this is another newer foundation. It's number 7 Stay Perfect Superlight Foundation, SPF 15. Again, you're only going to pay around the 20 something, maybe 21 euro I think. And this is in the colour Calico. I actually prefer this to the original Stay Perfect foundation, which I did like, which is also Calico, but this is actually a lighter shade, and this one was ever so slightly, I'd say maybe half a shade too dark on me, whereas this one is perfect now. So this just gives, it says it gives a flawless finish, and it really, really does. It's a medium but buildable coverage foundation. It says it's a life-proof foundation with up to 24 hours wear, and it really, really does last a long time. Again, really lightweight, handy bottle, so brilliant for the kit. I absolutely plan on picking up more of these for my kit. It gives, considering it's actually a very fluid foundation, it gives brilliant coverage, like really, really good coverage. So I was very impressed by that. And then the last foundation I'm going to show you today is this nice cheap and cheery one by Catrice. It's the Nude Illusion Makeup, and it's a luminous matte one. So these are my favourite kind of finish of foundations. Try that again. The luminous matte is my favourite kind of finish of foundations or in foundations lately. This does contain UVA, UVB filters. It's moisturising, but it will mattify you where you need it, and then it does contain those soft focus particles that will give you that luminous kind of soft finish. So another really, really lovely looking bottle, and the packaging is fab for the price, because I think you only pay about €6 or so for that. I love Catrice anyhow, but this kind of overtook, I loved their all matte foundation, and this took over my love. Let's just say my love for that one jumped onto this one, because I just really fell in love with this. Now we'll move on quickly to the concealers. For blemishes, my MAC, this is the MAC Pro Conceal and Correct palette. This is actually the Studio Finish Concealer. Well, that's what they say, but I do think there's actually a small difference in the consistency. I prefer this to the traditional Studio Finish. I could be wrong, but I do feel like there's a difference. So this palette I've been using to death. You can see there it's been used quite a bit. It's just the best one for blemishes. It really, really is. It's the one that I use all the time on myself and in my kit. It's my go-to. I have 2 of these palettes, but I definitely will be picking up more. And I think it's around, I want to say 40 something euro for the palette. Maybe, no, actually I'd say it's more like 50 something euro for the palettes, but well worth it if you can get your hands on them. And yeah, that's that. Then looking at a very inexpensive drugstore alternative, I would choose the Catrice Camouflage Cream, which again I fell in love with. I've spoken about this many, many times, but it's basically a dupe for the Studio Finish Concealer. I can see very little of a difference. I am the colour 10 Ivory in this, and really, really affordable for anyone who wants really good coverage from a cream concealer, and you know, they don't want to spend an arm and a leg. So that's that. And I think there's about 4, you know, obviously because it is a very inexpensive brand, there's not many shades available, so you'll only get about 4 or 5 if you're lucky shades from that. But anyhow, then this is like the only, no, actually there's 2 of them. These are great multi-purpose concealers. So there's not many concealers that I use both on blemishes and under the eye, but these guys I do, and very, very happily. So these are both film forming concealers. This is the Prolongwear Concealer by MAC, which is around the 21 euro mark, I think. It comes with this pump, which is notorious for pumping out too much, so you really have to train yourself not to apply or not to dispense too much product. But if you can get over that and like not break it, because it's obviously glass, it is the best concealer out there, I think, that you can get for both. And I use this most heavily in my kit, I'd say, than any other concealer. I have about 7 of the shades. I love them to death. NW20 is what I use under my eye, which might sound dark, but it's what works perfectly for me. I use the NC or NW15 more as a highlight. So really love that. And then this is the Double Wear Stay in Place Flawless Wear Concealer. This one has an SPF of 10 in it, whereas this doesn't have any SPF. Yeah, and this comes in a 9ml bottle, by the way. This is, doesn't say what mil is on this, but I'd say it's probably something around the 9ml. And this is in the colour Warm Light, which is the yellowy shade. I also have a pinky shade that I use under my eye, but this is basically the same thing. It's a film forming concealer again, so that means it'll last all day pretty much without having to set it with powder. I don't set my under eyes with powder, which is why sometimes they might look a bit shiny, but as long as I use a primer and the proper concealer, I just tend not to get too much creasing, which I'm very happy about. So this would be great for summer rather, because it has that SPF in it. And okay, moving on, I also have another Double Wear product. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Brush On Glow BB. So this is a highlighter and or BB highlighter. This is, and honestly, it's not hugely dissimilar to this, but it's a little bit more fluid. It lasts very well, and of course it would have slightly more highlighting finish, so it's, you know, brighter shade or whatever. I love this for under the eye, and especially for putting on any of the high points. Loads came out there for putting on any of the high points on my face. It has a twist, like a twisty bum, and you can dispense it through this brush. So of course you can use the brush on yourself if it's for personal use, or otherwise I put it on the back of my hand, and then I always kind of give the brush a little bit of a clean with alcohol when I'm using it in work or on clients. Another one that comes with a brush, which is a newer one to me, but I fell in love with it very quickly after using it, and it's the Rimmel Match Perfection Skin Tone Adapting Concealer. And this is a concealer and highlighter, but it's what I have on today, so you can see the colour is bang on for what I use it for. And this is actually the colour 30, so there's 10 is the lightest, then 30 is the next one, and I think 40 is the third one up. So you can see there it is actually, like, it's not a highlighty light shade like that, but it's a grand shade. Like, it works really well under my eyes. Sometimes I don't like to overly highlight under my eyes, depending on what kind of look I'm going for, but really love this. Quite inexpensive, obviously, because it is from the pharmacy. I actually think I got this in a grocery store, but this has an interesting texture. It's almost a little bit, I'm going to say a little bit tacky, so it does remind me a little bit of these film forming ones. I don't know if it has any film forming properties, it doesn't actually say that, but really does like offer a lot of pigment without it looking cakey or heavy, so that's a great affordable one. Then the last two again are drugstore ones, and these are definitely worth mentioning. This one you've seen me use to death, so I won't go on about it. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in number 15. It comes with the doe foot wand. This is the kind of slightly pinky shade, so I use this to death underneath my eyes. I love this. I'm on my second bottle of it, and it's just the loveliest one ever. I don't feel I need to, like, there's enough pigment in this that I don't need to colour correct, which I do with a lot of other ones, because I can get very purpley underneath, but this one, it's fine by itself, so that's a great one to get if you can get your hands on it, around €8 or €9. Then the last one that I'm going to show today is the Wake Me Up Concealer by Rimmel, which is an anti-fatigue effect and radiant glow concealer. And this again comes in a doe foot. This is the colour Ivory. I also use beige, which is more of a pink tone. Ivory is more kind of golden, so I'd use this nearly on my blemishes rather than anything else, or sometimes on the purple tones under my eyes first, and then I'll go over with the kind of pinky one then to brighten. So yeah, that's that. That comes in a 7ml container. So they're all my favourites from over the year. Now I'm quickly just going to insert the winner to the giveaways, or the winners to the giveaways here, because I'm filming this on Tuesday and I'm going to pick the winner on the Wednesday, so I'll edit this then. But first of all, the winner for the brush set is... And yes, I did stalk your Google Plus to get this picture, Kerry, but congratulations on winning the brushes. So congratulations to yourself, and I will be contacting you through YouTube, so keep an eye out for that, or feel free to contact me first if that's what you want to do. And then the winner of the 3 sleep products is... And the sleep products are going to be on your way very soon, Ashley. So congratulations to yourself as well. And again, I'll contact you through YouTube unless you get to me first. So I will try and send these out ASAP, so you can hopefully get them before Christmas. And thanks a million to everyone else who entered. There was a huge response. So of course there was only 2 prizes I could give away, but I hope to do another giveaway again in the new year. So I will probably be doing another favourites video next week. But I hope this was helpful for you anyhow in the meantime, guys. And then I will see all of you in my next video. So cheers guys, slán!